I'm Carol Vorderman and welcome to Perfect 10. It's Friday, everyone. We made it. Hooray! Yes, it is Perfect 10. 10 questions, 10 points, all done in just 10 minutes. Make sure, please, that you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Follow and like to get the next episode as soon as it drops next Monday. And while it might be the weekend, head on over to our Facebook, Instagram and TikTok pages for even more bonus questions and puzzles to keep your mind ticking over until next week. Right, if you've been playing with us all week, then you should have a score out of 40 points so far. But by the end of this episode, you should have a full score out of 50. So if you've missed any of the episodes, now is the time to go back and catch up. Then come straight back here because I have a great set of questions lined up for you today. Don't forget, also, head on over to our website, perfect10.uk, to download your free Perfect 10 scorecard and sign up to the Perfect 10 newsletter. Okay, at the end of yesterday's podcast, I asked you to solve this anagram. Which fruit is an anagram of plain pipe? The answer, of course, was the pineapple. Well done if you got it right, but no points ever for our anagrams. Let's crack on with Friday's questions, shall we? Points available from now on in. For the last time this week, let's play Perfect 10. Question 1, as always, is your starter for a Perfect 10. And as today is National Tea Day, here's one about everyone's favourite brew. Which tea maker was the first to introduce pyramid-shaped bags? We all love a nice warm cuppa, don't we? I'm addicted to tea. I tell you what, if you haven't got one, just go and boil the kettle now, can you? Make yourself a nice cuppa for when we go through the answers. Oh, you can all play along while it's boiling. Question 2 is our hearsay round, so listen up and tell me which well-known phrase or saying is hidden in this clip.
1 + 1 equals...
Say what you hear and you can't go far wrong. What phrase is hidden in those sounds? Question 3, Carol lateral thinking. So have a swing at this. If a wheel has 16 spokes, how many spaces are there between the spokes on 3 wheels? Have you got that? Are you ready to move on? If so, question 4 puts your ability to retain information to the test. It's my memory game. And to round off the week, let's head back into the Perfect 10 kitchen. Listen up, because after this clip, I'll have a question to see just how much you remembered.
This hearty low-fat chicken stew is great for all the family and works wonderfully as a midweek supper. To make it, you'll need 8 boneless chicken thighs, 1 small swede, 400 grams of potatoes, 200 grams of Savoy cabbage, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 500 ml of chicken stock, and 2 teaspoons of corn flour. This recipe goes really well with a couple of cheese cones, and I'll be telling you how to make those later.
Wow, delicious. Something to make at the weekend, perhaps. Anyway, I hope you were paying attention because here comes your question. What kind of mustard did this recipe recommend? It was all in the clip, but can you recall the information you need to answer the question correctly? Now, don't forget to send me your riddles and puzzles too at Perfect10Carol on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. We love testing the rest of the Perfect 10 family with them. Right, moving on. Time for questions 5, 6 and 7, the frivolous, familiar and fun part of the show. Here is your question 5, and it's all about the car park king. In 2012, which king was found buried in a council car park in Leicester? This was big news at the time. Do you remember? After over 500 years of searching, his body was finally found. But which king was it? Moving on now to question 6. With which sport was the name Murray Walker most closely associated? Murray Walker, an absolute legend in his field, but what sport was he associated with? Question 7 now. The Danish words leg godt, meaning play well, are the basis for the name of which popular product? You don't need to know any Danish to get this one right, I don't think. Round 8, we move on to 1 in, 1 out to see if you can score another point with this. Which letter can you change in the word value, V-A-L-U-E, to make a word that means indefinite? Question 9 is called I Know This, and I'm sure you do. Because I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad, me father gave me nose a tweak, told me I was bad, is a line from which song? You know this one. Try singing it out. Oh, I can hear your voices from here. And here we are at question 10, the final question of the day. As always, it's our daily riddle. Here we go. A cowboy rides into town on Friday, stays for 3 days and 3 nights, and still manages to leave on Friday. How? And there you have it. That's today's Perfect 10. Another week of brain training almost over. The answers are coming up, so if you need to rewind to hear some of those again, now is the time to do so. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's questions. And if you want to entertain, educate and irritate me, please send me your own puzzles to @Perfect10Carol on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And while you're there, have a go at some of the bonus questions we've been posting throughout the week. Get your scorecards ready, and if you haven't already got one, head on over to our website, perfect10.uk, to download yours for free. Right, let's get you some answers. 10 questions, 10 points, 10 minutes, but did you get a perfect 10 score? Grab that cup of tea and let's find out. Question 1, we started with, which tea maker was the first to introduce pyramid-shaped bags? And the answer is PG Tips. But if you're a real smarty pants and said Brook Bond, PG Tips parent company, you can have a point as well. Question 2 was hearsay. I asked you what phrase was hidden in these sounds.
1 + 1 equals...
Well, you know what they say. It takes 2 to tango. Congratulations if you got that one right. Question 3, Carol lateral thinking. If a wheel has 16 spokes, how many spaces are there between the spokes on 3 wheels? And the answer is 48. Every spoke has a gap to its right. Going around the wheel, that's 16 gaps for 16 spokes. Multiply that by 3. 3 times 16 is 48. Question 4 was our memory question, and as always on a Friday, it was all about food. I asked you, what kind of mustard did this recipe recommend? And the answer I was looking for was Dijon mustard. I remembered if you got that one right. Into the 3 F's now, frivolous, familiar and fun questions, one and all. Question 5 was this. In 2012, which king was found buried in a council car park in Leicester? And the answer was King Richard III. There was a well-known local legend that King Richard III's bones had been dug up and unceremoniously thrown into the River Soar by a mob at the time of the Reformation. However, in 2012, thanks to the Richard III Society, an excavation began on the site of his original resting place. And sure enough, there he was, found again after over 500 years. Question 6. With which sport was the name Murray Walker most closely associated? The answer is, of course, motor racing or Formula One. Question 7. The Danish words leg godt, meaning play well, are the basis for the name of which popular product? I'm sure you got this. The answer is Lego. Question 8 was 1 in, 1 out. Which letter can you change in the word value to make a word that means indefinite? Change the letter L to a letter G to get the word vague, V-A-G-U-E. Question 9 was, I know this, but did you? Because I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad, my father gave me nose a tweak, told me I was bad, is a line from which song? How about if I give you the next line? But then one day I learned a word that saved me aching nose, the biggest word you ever heard. And this is how it goes. All together now. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. The word is a compound word and said to be made up of the words super, meaning above, cali, meaning beauty, fragilistic, meaning delicate, expiali, to atone, and docious, meaning educable. Putting all these words together, we can assume that the word means atoning for being educable through delicate beauty. Whatever that means, really. Now you know anyway. And finally, question 10, your final daily riddle of the week. A cowboy rides into town on Friday, stays for 3 days and 3 nights, and still manages to leave on Friday. How? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? His horse is called Friday. He rode in on Friday and rode out on Friday. And there you have it. Another week of Perfect 10 down, and I bet you're feeling a whole lot smarter, are you not? Even if you didn't get a perfect 10 score, it's still a great way, really is, to exercise your mind and keep your brain healthy. Very important. And I hope that you've learned some fun facts to tell your friends and family at the weekend too. You can tell them even what supercalifragilisticexpialidocious means. Whew, if you can remember. But don't forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already done so. And if you're hungry for more, then why not go back and try out our previous episodes? They can be played in any order, and they only take 10 minutes each. And don't forget, we'd love to see your scorecards. Send us your pictures or tag us at Perfect10Carol on social media. The funnier, the better. And who knows, we might show them off on our social channels too. I'll be back on Monday with a brand new week of questions. But for now, I'm Carol Vorderman. That was my Perfect 10. I hope you have a perfect weekend.